Hey, hey, good morning. Happy morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Star. I'm Mona Nelson. I'm going to be the facilitator today. I'm excited for our speaker and just the good vibes this group always gives us. I've got a little reading today, and I'm going to admit I don't know where I found it. I don't have an author. I'm sad about that. You should give credit where credit is due, and I don't know where I got this, but I thought it was good and fit today. We are living at a time when judgments are rampant. Many people are motivated by fear, and as a result, they have all kinds of emotionally charged ideas about what you should do. None of them matter, especially when they are motivated by fear. People who are afraid do not see clearly, and they are incapable of making healthy decisions for their own lives, let alone yours. It takes a person of character and integrity to look within for answers rather than depend on others to dictate them to you. When you follow your joy, your inner light shines at the maximum strength, and you become a model for others to do the same. The world needs more lighthouses. That would be you. Please join me in reading the vision statement on the front of your songbook. Our Sunday gathering is designed to provide a weekly encouragement to individually manifest our highest good and purpose in our lives. Inner direction is the key. We reinforce positive directions for our lives and the infinite potential within us. We seek connections to create an open atmosphere of acceptance of all backgrounds, races, and lifestyles. We come together in a spirit of inclusiveness, embracing all spiritual paths, honoring God in an atmosphere of unconditional love. Now let's stand for our sing-along, which is Imagine, woohoo, on page 23, and we'll follow that with our meet and greet. Page 23.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. Isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living a life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, and I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world could live as one. Imagine no possessions.
Hey, hey, that was good stuff. Lots of good hugs out there. Happy morning, everyone. Now, once we all find our seat, we can just breathe because we get a special treat from this amazing group of men right here who just do a special song that we just sit back and chill and listen.
I've got gardens growing, got quiet days, clothes on my back, and food on my plate. Got friends to help me if I call for them, but I don't need anything that I don't have. I've got eyes to see this beautiful land, feet to take me where I want to stand. And if there's work to be done, there are these two strong hands. But I don't need anything that I don't have. Don't need anything that I don't have. Some years the rains don't come and some years floods clear out the plains. And if those waters wash this town away, I would still have enough if she was with me. Got a roof overhead, stars if I choose. Got no itch to fly and no need to move. Got almost nothing, but I understand that I don't need anything that I don't have. I don't need anything that I don't have.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is our Morning Star Magical Band, which includes Ken, Daryl, Jeffrey, and Frank. Thank you guys so much. That was beautiful. Truly beautiful. Before we do our chant, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Shelly, our speaker, because she's going to do the meditations. We're just going to make it flow a little better. We'll do chant. She'll do meditation in her talk. So Shelly surprised me this morning being here. Very excited you're here because I had that you were going to be down with Zoom. Her topic today is the choices we make. Shelly Wilson is an intuitive medium, Reiki Master, life coach, author, and inspirational speaker. She has an innate ability to meet people where they are, while offering a tailored approach intended to bolster their own connection to spirit. She illuminates each person's soul key and helps individuals reignite their spark while reminding them of the power they behold. During her classes and private sessions, she creates a space for empowered transformation and provides practical, actionable tools. Residing here in Oklahoma, Shelly has a bachelor's in business with a minor in psychology, and in addition, she has been tested as a medium and certified by Mark Ireland, and is also listed as a provider for helping parents heal. a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting parents whose children have passed. Our chant today is on page 58 REO.
I invite you to close your eyes, breathe in deeply, and relax as you settle comfortably into this space. Allow any extraneous thoughts to gently and easily move through your mind. Be mindful of your breath As you breathe in peace, love, and lightness, while exhaling any dense energies that no longer serve you in a positive, healthy, and balanced way. As you breathe in peace, exhale chaos. As you breathe in love, exhale fear. As you breathe in healing, exhale discomfort. As you breathe in ease, exhale uncertainty. Please note the tension and tightness being lifted from your physical body as you continue to breathe and appreciate these moments of soothing silence. Once again, breathe in deeply as you exhale audibly while basking in the peace, love, and gratitude you feel in this moment, while also feeling more centered and balanced. Envision beautiful emerald green healing energy at your heart chakra and sense the healing and expansion that is occurring within you. At this time, let us set the intention to ground our energy by visualizing your legs as tree roots growing deep into the earth. Pure white light is flowing downwards through your crown chakra into your being, filling you with unconditional love, awareness, understanding, and wisdom. You are connected to the earth below, to the light above, and to the love that surrounds you and is within you. Know that you are love and you are loved, and so it is. So let's take a big deep breath again, coming into this space. So good morning. What a gorgeous group of people. I have to say, wow, your lights are shining so bright. And what a gorgeous music this morning. I got here early and just basked in the melodies and the sounds and just feeling the good energy in this space. So I invite you to check in with yourself. How are you feeling right now? Just do a quick scan of your body. You feel any more tension, tightness, anything that you didn't let go of a moment ago? And just allowing yourself just to come into this space. And I know we already did the meet and greet, but let's do a quick look around again, just so you can see what I see as well. Pretty amazing group of people, isn't it? Wonderful. So Mona, thank you for the introduction, and I did get up very early this morning to make the trip. And you know, when you think about you don't want to be late, you don't want to oversleep, how you tend to wake up during the night and check, what time is it? Is everything good? And I set my alarm, and I have a habit of 3 different times. That way, if I don't hear the first one, I've got 2 more options. But I knew it was going to be an extra wonderful day because I woke up 15 minutes before the alarm went off. So I know every day is a great day, even when we're challenged, but it always makes it even better. It seems like if you don't have to hear your alarm go off and you can turn it off, right? Even if it's 5 minutes, it's like, wow, this is wonderful. So, as we talk today, of course, my topic is the choices we make. And we're going to cover a lot. And of course, I'm going to share more about me and my journey and even the choices I've made that have led me here to this moment. But I would like to ask you a couple of questions, or one question in particular right now. So I'm just curious, and of course, this is something that you ponder for yourself, but is our life really planned out, or is it truly to be determined with the choices we make? Maybe a little of both, right? Maybe there's parts of it, especially if you believe in soul plans or soul contracts and things like that, and think about free will and fate and destiny and conscious creation and all of that. And so that's what I want to talk about first. So first of all, let's talk about those concepts, just to let you know where I'm at when I use those terms. So first of all, fate suggests that things happen as they're destined to, and that individuals cannot alter or change the course of events because they are predetermined by a divine or universal force. This perspective may imply that we have little or no influence over our own life and destiny. Could be possible, right? Sounds a little bit rigid. I don't know that I necessarily like that. So then we often recognize that these words can be used interchangeably, fate and destiny, but there are subtle differences. So destiny also suggests a predetermined path, but that it is also shaped by individual actions and choices entailing a conscious effort. I like that, feels a little better. And then free will. This refers to the ability as humans to make conscious choices and determine their actions independently. And it's the idea that humans can choose their own paths and are not simply succumbing to fate. Now, we know this isn't always exact with every instance. So we have to consider that there are some circumstances, of course, that this would not apply to, especially if people have done things illegally and then they've got the consequences and so on. Or we live in a place that we may not be able to make choices that are right for us. And we know at times the energy feels dense with that when we even consider it. So with this thought in mind, the poem, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, came into my awareness, and I want to share that with you now. And it says, 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And even as I read that, I get the chills because it's like so very true. How many times have we reflected and wondered about the choices we made or the choices we didn't, the paths we took, the paths we didn't, and so on. So I think it's always easier to look at things in reflection, in hindsight, and wonder, of course, about the choices or the paths that we took. So lastly, conscious creation. This is a concept that suggest thoughts, emotions, and intentions actively shape our reality. It's about intentionally directing our energy and focus towards desired outcomes. The process of consciously creating is often referred to as manifesting, where we intentionally bring our desires into existence by aligning our thoughts and emotions and actions with what we wish to create. And to be clear, this concept recognizes your role in creating your own individual experience. So it is believed that our thoughts have creative power to influence events and determine our experiences. And this means that our mindset and outlook are an integral part of what we experience, as well as how we navigate that experience. So referencing a relatable highway analogy or interstate analogy or just roadway, so we're in our vehicle and we're driving, or maybe we're a passenger in that vehicle as well, and we're heading to the destination of our choice. And one of many scenarios could occur. There might be road construction, there might be traffic, there might be a mechanical issue, a flat tire, or maybe something else. And so as we're doing this, did fate or destiny play a role? Or was it simply an experience that delayed us for a bit or routed us in a new direction? And how did we handle that scenario? And what choice did we make? So thinking about that, and I was sharing this morning, I think it was with Evan and with Anna, talking about my son went to school here at OU, and so we made many trips to come see him, 2010 to 2014 when he graduated. I've only been down here a few times since then, but especially on game day and Saturday, oh my goodness. And I have never traveled down 77, but when I put in GPS this morning, it took me off 35 to go on 77 by the airport, and I was like, wow, I've never seen this part of Norman, and how easy it was to navigate these roads. And so, of course, we think about times even, are we feeling frustrated? You know, if there's a delay, if there's traffic, things like that. And we have to recognize, too, that sometimes there is a reason for those delays. But even understanding how do we navigate it can also help us to understand how do we navigate life's challenges, too. And this comes back to being a choice that we make in the moment. So whether we perceive that we're living life fully or thriving, or at times we're just going through the motions. We may feel like we're functioning on autopilot. And when we think about it in that way, we want to remember that life is happening for us, but not necessarily to us. Even though in the moment it may feel like, wow, how am I going to get through this? Or, you know, what am I going to do? So as spiritual beings having a human life experience, every experience and interaction that we have with another is essential. We have to trust when people cross our paths. And each experience that we have is an opportunity for learning and growth. And these experiences include the choices we make and the choices we didn't make, both the literal and the proverbial roads we traveled and the roads we didn't. Even the roads that may seem bumpy or full of potholes, or they may be dirt roads even, or they're nice and smooth. So we have to think about how does that translate to our own life as well. And we have to remember that the challenging experiences are also beneficial, and they can greatly contribute to our personal and spiritual growth. This understanding involves a shift in perspective and mindset from viewing life's challenges as obstacles to viewing them as opportunities for personal development and even a deeper appreciation for life. And understandably, in most instances, we have no control of what we are being challenged by. Nobody wants a challenge, right? Nobody knows how. However, we do have the power to choose how we respond to the challenge. And we can also recognize the blessings within those experiences as well. And so, of course, in my drive this morning, I had lots of ideas coming up as far as what to share. And I was even thinking about to a pivotal time in my childhood. My dad was an engineer. I was raised Baptist. We lived in southeast Oklahoma at the time, and my parents divorced. And that was when I was 11. And at that time, of course, my dad, working for the government, would take different jobs, different projects. He worked on dams. Go figure. So anytime they were building a dam, he would, decide where to go. And Antlers, Oklahoma is where we were for a time. And then my mom decided to relocate us, me and my brothers, to the Broken Arrow area, which is a suburb of Tulsa. And then my mom remarried. We moved to Bixby. And then they decided when I was almost 16, it was 86, the fall of 1986. And they wanted to have some property. They moved us to a rural area, Big Cabin, Oklahoma. If you've ever traveled the turnpike, you've probably passed through. There's truck stops there. But it was a culture shock to me. And I was, of course, at a big school. Lots of kids went to a class of 20. And everything that I thought I had planned at the time for my future changed. That was a choice that was not made for me, of course, because I didn't have control of my parents' decision. But it also, that's where I met my husband. And then, of course, had new plans and new ideas and raised a wonderful family. And then just knowing, too, I do reflect periodically, what would my life have been like? What would this? Well, did destiny play a role in that? Was fate? Maybe. We shall see. So now I even think about my spiritual journey. And as a child, I always knew things. And I was sensitive to energies, but I didn't have anyone to talk to. And it wasn't until my late 20s when I was seeking. I went to Eureka Springs, Arkansas. That's where I had my first healing, my first reading. And wow, I was so excited. And I knew at the time it felt like I was just existing and going through the motions. And I knew that the work that I was doing, which I happened to work for a trucking company in Big Cabin, Oklahoma, that wasn't something I saw long term. My soul was not satisfied, if that makes sense. And so I started exploring more, and then I became attuned to Reiki, and I also then began developing and honing my intuitive and mediumistic abilities, and I've been on this path ever since. I will tell you, though, there were choices made along the way because, as we know, living in Oklahoma, it may not be conducive to people wanting to talk about, I'm going to go have a reading or whatnot. And I don't really care for the term psychic. It's got the fortune teller vibe. Even though psychic means of the soul, I really prefer the word intuitive. It's just more comfortable. Well, as part of my journey, of course, I was excited to step out more. My children were still in school, and I remember my son especially, because he's 4 years older than my daughter, he's like, don't tell anyone, Mom, don't talk about it. So of course I didn't until I did. And then I decided to put a press release in the local paper saying that I was going to be going to Lilydale, a spiritualist community in Western New York. And of course he was out of high school at that time. My daughter was still in high school, but I was like, I'm letting it be known. And local author, Shelly Wilson, intuitive medium, and And I was proud and letting it be known. Around that same time, I published my book, Journey into Consciousness. And that is my story, my life up to my awakening. Awakening went to when the book came out, which happened to be December of 2013. Well, I can remember to this moment, almost 12 years ago, my mom was not happy at all. She decided to buy the book herself and read it. And there were a lot of things, of course, her perception was different. And I'm saying this in the event that she's even watching, that she said I was a liar, delusional, and had a mental illness. She was very religious and still is. And it was really hard to listen to that. So we disconnected for a while. That was a choice that I made. It was 3 years almost. And then we reconnected at my nephew's birthday and started fresh. But we only lived 10 miles apart, and we never crossed paths in 3 years, which I found fascinating. And my stepdad would reach out once in a while, "You've got to make up, you've got to make up." And I said, "I'm not fighting. I'm just not going to not be who I am." And I get emotional thinking about it because it was hard, you know, especially when you're close to your parents. And my dad, he bought the book as well, but he was more upset that I shared in it that he never says, "I love you." And he often will say he's emotionally unavailable. But he says, "You know, when I say take care, that means I love you." And I said, "Well, I realize that now, Dad, but as a kid growing up, it's hard to not hear that, but we show it. We now use the words love language. You know, what's our love language?" So just coming back around, my mom and I have reconnected. Of course, she calls this my ministry. She watches my videos, looks on my website, looks on Facebook, sees where I'm at. And we don't always talk about what I do, but I don't have to fear not being who I am. And that's one thing I encourage all of you. Sometimes it's hard to be who we are, to make the choices that we make. But you have to listen to your heart and your spirit and your humanness. Your mind is going to come in as well. But the more that you know what is right for you, that's really helpful. So with that, even just sharing briefly up to this year too, because it's been a challenging one. My husband retired from construction a few years ago due to some health issues. And we thought it was heart-related because he's had a heart attack. He's had diagnosis of AFib, but it wasn't quite the same. And it was about a year ago this time that we're like, something's not right. What's going on? So fast forward to now, he actually has a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. And he's 55, so we think, you know, anyone, of course, can get a diagnosis. And it was a relief to get it for searching for things, but that also opens the door for choices as well. Every day, are we being responsive? Are we being reactive? And I just remind him to be present. Let's just be here today. Let's not think about what could be. You know, let's prepare, and let's not just avoid. But because of doing construction work for decades, he also had to have some spinal procedures this year. So he had a neck fusion in May and lumbar in August. And he is doing great physically. Mentally, we got to keep him balanced and going. And once again, when we think about health challenges that we face as well, we want to know our limitations, but we also want to say, well, what does my body need? And Cindy, I'm thinking about you and the work that you do, encouraging people and reminding them as well, you know, let's walk, let's move our body, let's take care of ourselves. So I'm being guided to share an excerpt. I love this book. I refer to it often. It's by Alan Cohen, and it's Wisdom of the Heart, Inspiration for a Life Worth Living. And this book is full of nuggets, I will tell you. So I'm going to read The Path with Heart, and it says, "You have a path that matches your spirit. To know if the path you're on is the right one, consult your heart. If you feel alive and fulfilled, you can be certain that you're on the right path. However, if your heart is empty, hungry, or conflicted, look deeper. Your spirit is trying to tell you something. So many people have settled for the path without heart that it seems normal, but it isn't natural. Others may try to convince you that you're being naive or that it's impossible to live your dream. It isn't. In fact, soul satisfaction is the only goal that will ever bring you true peace. It's the purpose for which you live. Never give up on following your truth. Don't compromise on what you know is real. When you accept that you're here to be happy, your life will transform and your heart will be full. Then, when you come to the end of your journey, you'll be able to say, well done. So let's just feel those words for a moment. And of course, just recognizing, are we living our life in the moment? Are we making choices that feel good to us? Are choices being made for us? Yes, that happens as well. But we remember we can respond to them. So in closing, I would like to ask you, what path do you choose to take? Are you open to allow the day-to-day unfoldment to occur, knowing life is truly to be determined with the choices we make each and every day? And I want to leave you with these powerful words. They're from Do Zantamata. And she says, you are every moment you've ever lived. You are every storm you have ever weathered. You are every sunrise and every sunset you have ever witnessed. You are the result of millions of choices, decisions, actions, and chances. You have become so wise in your time here. Acknowledge and appreciate yourself and your journey. Live every new day with intention and love. That's what I choose to do. And I hope you do the same as well. Thank you.
Shelly, thank you for that message today. Probably something we all needed to hear, as it always is. Sadly, when we did the Robert Frost poem, and that was so beautiful, and Catherine's like repeating it in my ear behind me. I loved that, and I'm hearing it like in speaker. It was beautiful, but then you know how you get a thought in your mind and you can't get off that thought. You know, focus. I'm going to tell a really short story about a path. I worked at the courthouse, and I went home every day for lunch, and I lived off of North Porter. So every day I traveled from work back to home for lunch, and this one particular day, I just got right north of Robinson, and the big voice said, "Turn now." And of course, I'm going to listen to that. That's the God voice. There's no other voice that was that loud. So I'm like, why am I going to Right Side GA? Maybe I need to pick up some lunch here. I don't know. I'll just go in. So I was in there 5-10 minutes, come out, pull out of Right Side GA, and up ahead you can see the intersection of Rock Creek and Porter, and there was a massive wreck, a large pileup. And I thought, God just told me, don't die today. Go into Right Side GA. So you got to listen to the voices, and takes you in the right direction, I feel like. Thank you for that, Shelly. That was a beautiful, beautiful message. So at this time in our program is when we give back. And so we've got people in the back that are going to come forward with baskets. If you can give from your pocket, that would be amazing. If you can give in other ways, maybe you have the talent here. There's Remy. I mean, everyone has this beautiful piece of this community. It's beautiful. So however you feel drawn to give back is what we need from you. So let's recite our offering prayer on the back of the songbook. It's kind of there in the middle. Recognizing God as the source of my supply, I joyously give of God's abundance, which is blessed and multiplied through me, and so it is.
To be humble, to be kind, it is giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other, nothing more. To be bold, to be brave, it is the thinking that the heart can still be saved, and the darkness can come quick. The danger's in the anger and the hanging on to it. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other, nothing more. Tell me what it is that you see. A world that's full of endless possibility. Heroes don't look like they used to. They look like you do. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other, nothing more. We are how we treat each other, nothing more. We are how we treat each other. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you, band. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that contributes to this wonderful program. I just think this is what we need every week, isn't it? We need a little bit of Morning Star. Get us through that week. Okay. There's a few announcements. I do want to say this, Shelly has some books and cards outside. They are for sale. She said she takes Venmo, cash, or credit. So if you want to partake of what she's left as an offering on the table, That's awesome. We do need some people for setup for November. I noticed no one signed up for November, so if you feel in your heart that's something you could do, that would be great. Also, Ann wanted me to say the board meeting is at noon today via Zoom because the crop walk check-in is at 1:30 at the Adult Wellness Center, so don't forget that. I know yesterday was Mary Brule's birthday. Is anybody else's birthday? Daryl's? What? Is he pointing back at you? I'm just asking. Happy birthday, Sarah. Happy birthday, Daryl. Yay. Anybody else? We don't want to miss anybody? Okay. Double checking. Okay. All righty. So what do we do next? We announce the speaker for next week. Guess what? By popular demand, we got Tom McCowan back next week. He's going to do the healing through the drum energy. Remember where all the chairs were pushed to the side and he sat in the middle with his drums. He is inviting you to bring your own drums, so if you do want to do that, you can do that. His message is healing through drum energy. So Tom was born in Oklahoma, and the drum was given to him in the 1990s. By friends with whom he used to, and still does, meditate, participate in sweat lodges, fire walks, and other ceremonies. The energy of the drum began to attract people for healings and connection with other dimensions in themselves. The drum provides an experience unique to each person. Tom is a conduit for the medicine and the journey. So per audience request, Tom returns to Morningstar with a dual opportunity for us to engage in energetic shifts. Starting off with those drums, we'll be invited to participate in during his introductory segment. Afterwards, for the majority of his drumming performance, Tom will guide us through a powerful, transformative meditation and encouraging us to still the mind and reconnect with spirit. So we look forward to Tom next Sunday. And then let us read the prayer for protection on the back of the songbook or up on the screen, which is, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Now we can stand for the peace sign, the peace song.